This is Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Mitch Lafon.
Welcome to this special edition of Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. I, of course, am the one, the only Mitch Lafon. Not mighty, like Steve Brown, but Mitch Lafon nonetheless. Special edition here. It is in the studio with guitarist Brad Gillis, of course, of Night Ranger. He has a new album coming out later this year, or so we hope. It is June of 2019. He has a collection of 12 songs that he has sent to me. He's hoping, I think, to get 15 made, and then he's going to shop it. Now, I have heard these 12 songs because I've had them for over a month now. They are done with Gary Moon, who sang on the Feeding Off the Mojo CD with Night Ranger. Terrific voice. Absolutely terrific voice. And these songs are melt-your-face, kick-ass rock and roll. The guitar playing is great. The singing is great. The drumming is great. And so we thought, Brad and I, hey, let's do this interview. It is not a career-spanning interview. In fact, it has nothing to do with that. We don't talk really about Night Ranger, or we don't talk about Ozzy. We don't talk about... It is just about the solo album. So this is a little gift, a little bonus episode where Brad is talking about finishing up this album. And it's just a little teaser. We give you a couple of song titles. We give you information about who's recording what, the cover song that's on there, and what the plan is. And so here it is, without further ado, the one, the only, and yes, the mighty Brad Gillis. We are speaking with Night Ranger's Brad Gillis, and we're not doing a full interview here, folks. We're going to get caught up. We'll call this In the Studio with Brad. He's got a new solo record with Gary Moon, who sang, of course, on their great album, Feeding the Mojo, back in 95, and they're back together doing this project. So, Brad, first of all, bonjour, as we say in Montreal. Hello.
Hello, how you doing, my friend? All good.
Good. Now, you've previewed some of these tracks for me. In fact, 11 tracks, and I'm not trying to brag, but I've heard 11 tracks. Great stuff. So let's you set it up the way, because I don't want to give away album titles or song titles without your permission. So what can we say? That'll be up to you. But is 11 tracks the number we're aiming for, or are these 11 of 15? Are these just 11 demos and you might use 7 and you might make 10 others? Like, tell the folks.
Well, no, wait, actually, I went in with Gary Moon last 3-4 months, get him here. He's down in LA. I'm up here in San Francisco. So, got him up here singing on these tracks, and I pretty much wrote everything, and I produce everything here at my house, record drums here at my house. Of course, I collect vintage guitars and amps, so I have every combination available to man to get whatever tone I want. So I've had that luxury, but I've been writing these songs for 10 years, just holding on to tracks, waiting for to finish this record. And then my girlfriend got on me about 6-8 months ago. She goes, Brad, you got to finish this record. It's too good. So that's when I got hold of Gary, and he wanted to come up and sing. We started getting together, helped me writing some lyrics, and now we're at the point we got about 15, 16 songs. And he just left here last week, so I've been comping a bunch of his vocals and mixing stuff down, and it's pretty exciting because I'm getting down to the wire. I just got off tour with Sammy Hagar and the Circle with Night Ranger, touring around the country, did 16, 17 days on the road, and I've had almost a month off here. I'm 2 weeks into a month off, and I'm really gearing up to finish this stuff, and been working on my TV music and just signing a new deal with the company that's going to play so much of my music. So I got a lot going on here, but I've definitely had the luxury of just playing music all my life, Mitch. I've been blessed.
Yeah, absolutely blessed. So what can you tell the fans in terms of musical style? Is this, and listen, I know the answer to some of these questions, so I'll ask them anyway, but is this right? Well, because I've heard the music. Is this a departure from Night Ranger? Is this one of these sort of esoteric, kumbaya albums, or is this a straight ahead rock record? What are fans going to expect from a Brad Gillis solo record?
It was kind of a potpourri. I don't know. You've heard it, Mitch. I got a lot of stuff going on. No two songs sound the same. A lot of it's pretty heavy rock stuff. Then you get, mid-tempo stuff and a couple of ballads, but you've heard the stuff too. I think I've hit on something that's pretty unique, and I'm rolling with it. I put out a couple solo records back in the day, about 91 or so. I did my instrumental record, Gil Rock Ranch, and that's what I had Greg Allman singing a couple songs, and then I put out my Alligator record around 2000, 2001. Had Gary Moon on a lot of that stuff, but that was a little too eclectic. So now I'm just gearing into great songs, man. It's all about song to melody, and I've always been into that. And I've pretty much conveyed a lot of that and a few of my Night Ranger guitar solos on record, just melody and stuff. So I'm really honing in on that. This isn't a guitar virtuoso record. That's not my thing, man. But I do have some burn spots, and I'm wailing here and there. But, I got some great grooves going on, and still haven't come up with the title for the record yet. But I'm getting down to the wire, and it's kind of exciting for me.
Yes. Now, I can suggest a title for the album. No, but in terms of getting Gary, the original sort of plan, I guess, was to do these 15 songs and have different singers, and then Gary came in and sort of knocked it out of the park, and you said, I'll just stick to him, right? I mean, that's how I understood
exactly.
It, right?
No, that's exactly what happened. I talked to quite a few other singers by getting on the record. Everybody was interested. The problem was everybody's touring. How do I get somebody, when I need them to sing at a record when they're on tour? So, Gary was available. I just absolutely love his voice. Not only can he scream and sound, up to par with anybody else screaming out there, but he's got this low girth in his voice. Just cool, man, sexy, and it's got this vibe, and he could do it all, So when I got him up here the first time, it's kind of went over 4 or 5 songs. As soon as he left, I went, oh my God, this is the guy. I mean, why would I not want to stick with such a great singer? And plus, that creates continuity on the record. I want the continuity of the same singer and me, the same guitar player, with the same sort of stylistic writing or whatever that I put on this record to glue it all together. So it's so I'm sticking with Gary. It's all good. And like I'm pretty much done. I had him up here 5 times. His last time was last week. Had him fix a couple things and redid a couple verses that weren't done yet. And now is just hanging out, just putting it all together, man. I'm mixing it. Every day I'm mixing a couple more new tunes. So hopefully by the end of the next week, I'll be done with the record. Then I can get it on, start shopping it to the labels interested and get her done.
Now, with Gary singing, that adds a nice continuity, not just to the record, but also to sort of the non-Night Ranger material, and you've got Alligator and Feeding Off the Mojo, and we'll let fans debate that. But do you think that there could be a chance where you might go out and do a show or two with Gary singing these songs and some of the old stuff, and just sort of, dusting off a couple of tunes from Feeding Off the Mojo and just giving fans like a nice whatever club show or
Yeah. No, I already talked to Gary about it. In fact, what we did last week, right when we were finishing up, I got my drummer over who lives a mile from me here in the Bay Area, and had him come over downstairs, and we did took some promo photos and stuff with the 3 of us. But we actually sat down and jammed on about 4 or 5 of the tunes. And I tell you, man, Gary's a little rough around the edges, because, just learning these songs and playing bass to it and getting up there and fronting this project, when we were doing our little jam downstairs in my big room. And I tell you, man, it could be really good. I mean, my drummer, Matthias Montgomery, he sings, plays great drums. Of course, I sing, All we'd have to do is add a keyboard player, somebody like Derek Sherinian, who's already on the record. He's played on a couple tracks on the record, and that would be a nice little band to go out and play. So, but I don't want to put the cart, before the horse. So basically, I need to finish this record, see where I'm at with the band, and see if there's a time that maybe we can go out and jam a little bit. But I'm just excited to get this record out, get the deal, and have people hear it, man, because I've got my heart and soul into this sucker, man.
Well, and you can tell now, on the tracks that you have sent me, there are no cover songs. Is there going to be a cover song done? Are you going to go? I mean, you did Do You Feel Like I Do from Frampton on Feeding Off the Mojo. Is there a cover song coming, or is it really no, these are original songs? Okay.
I'm doing one cover, and that's it's called Something in the Air. I guess you never got that one, right?
I did not.
Yeah, that came out in the late '60s, and I did my own version to it, my own take on it. Gary and I both sing on it. It's kind of got an airy voice thing going on. Thunderclap Newman did it back in the day. That's one of his songs. It's called Something in the Air. In fact, when we get done, I'll send it to you. You can check it out. But that's the only cover that's really on the record. And otherwise, I mean, I could, some of these songs. Sex and the Money, man. That's going to be a big one.
That one is great. And also, well, okay, I'll give one title if that's okay. Lord of the Rain.
No, you tell me. Lord of the Rain.
Sex and the Money and Lord of the Rain. I cannot get that. I mean, in fact, I put together a Night Ranger playlist, and they're both within the first 20 songs. They're in it. They're exactly what you want to hear as a fan. They are great rock songs, big hooks. That Lord of the Rain. I just hear that chorus going through my head over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I know we're just doing sort of a quick in the studio. So let me just ask you this. You've had these songs over the last sort of 5-10 years. Are these songs that you've always seen as being Brad's solo songs, or are these songs that you wanted to bring to the band, but for whatever reason, you knew they weren't going to fit, you knew they weren't ready yet? What?
Actually, there's a few songs that are, songs I always bring in with Night Ranger whenever we do a record every couple of years. But, basically a few of these songs are riffs that I wrote for TV music for ESPN or Fox Sports, or, I place a lot of that music. I wrote these tracks to give to those, license out those things to those areas. And I thought to myself, man, these riffs, these grooves, these are too good, man. I need to save these for my solo record. So I just started putting a couple of these songs aside here and there. Then I write something else. I go, hey, man, wow. I write the lyrics and the melody, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's a solo record song. So I put some things aside for me specifically for this record. And like I said, about 6 months ago, I started getting into it and listening back to some of the stuff. And I thought, man, I got to finish this record. It's starting to, it's making sense to me. So, do it. And I'm almost done. Another week or 10 days, and I will be done. So, I held some songs off. Yes, I did.
And I have to say they're making sense to me. And in terms of the band Night Ranger, when fans hear this and they go, hey, Jack's doing Revolution Saints album this summer and fall, and you're doing, this is in no way suggesting anything's wrong with the band. This is just two creative guys that have a lot of creative juices flowing, and it's sort of overflowing, right? I mean, put the fans at ease.
Everybody does side projects. Everybody does side projects. It's not like the band's going to break up and we're all going to jump out and do solo records. That's not it. I mean, Night Ranger, we've been kicking these tires since 1983 when we released Don't Tell Me You Love Me. So, and we're doing well. We got 90 shows this year. We're all over the map. We're going back to Japan, doing our double record thing, just to let people know we're doing every song, all songs up to both first two records on the Dawn Patrol and Midnight Madness, and we're calling it the Dawn of Madness Tour. And we've already done a couple of shows last year, and we're going back to Japan here, doing it in October, and then doing a couple other spot shows around the country. So that's kind of what's coming up, as far as Night Ranger. So we're busy. We're booked heavily. We just all find time to do side projects when we're not working with the band.
All right, and we'll finish with this just real quick then. Don't Let Up, 2017, which to me is possibly one of your best records. I mean, that sucker is solid front to back. But we're now 2019. You're doing the solo record. He's doing Revolution Saints. Do we see a new record in 2020, or does Night Ranger even have to make new music? You can go out and do 75 minutes of your greatest hits, and folks are showing up. But do you want to see another one come out soon?
Well, we already talked about it about a month ago, and so there's a bug in our ear, and we're all going to try to get things together and start, running stuff by each other. But, with our heavy schedule, it looks like we'll get through the year, and then when things slow down, January, February, that's probably when we probably get serious about getting things together. And we always take our time doing it. We used to have the luxury of going up to Jack Glaze's house up in an hour from me and we'd all just, I'd commute, and everybody would stay up there. We did the records at his place, but he sold his place and moved up to Washington State. So we all kind of got to do it through our home studios and pass stuff around. But so it doesn't sound pieced together what we do with Night Ranger. We always get it either the Jack Kelly come over here, or we go to who's ever out, Jack's house or Kelly's house, and we sit around and jam for a couple of days on ideas and riffs and melody ideas and choruses and such. And once we get a handle on everything, then we bring, Carrie Kelly and Eric Levy in, put some icing on the cake, or maybe help us write some sections here and there. But usually when we start getting into it, it takes us a good 6 or 8 months to get it done because of our schedule,
And absolute last question, the 35 Years and a Night in Chicago live album, to me, it is one of the best sounding live albums, certainly in the last 15 years, if not, in the history of rock. I just love the sound that the drums on there are monstrous. Is this one of the best lineups of the band with Eric and Carrie Kelly? Because it seems to me that you're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definite continuity with the new guys coming in and rolling, man. And Jack Kelly and I always put out 110%. And old Carrie Kelly, man, he's up there after the third song, he's sweating his butt off. So you can tell he's putting in his dues, his hours, and kicking ass. I think he's just a great, solid player. And, what was great about Carrie Kelly was when we got him, back in the band pretty much solid a couple years back, we were getting ready to take a 2-week break, and I said, hey, man, how cool would it be if you were to learn the Jeff Watson 8-finger technique, man? How cool would that be? He goes, yeah, I thought about it, 2 weeks later, we get back together to do a show, and we're doing sound check. He goes, hey, man, I learned the 8-finger thing. I go, what? I go, come on, let's do Rockin' America. So we did Rockin' America and sound check, and he pulled off that 8-finger thing. It's like, oh, my gosh, man. Talk about it. He's dedicated, and he does it every night, and plays it great. So, it's a great lineup. We're having a lot of fun, and
it's a superb lineup. And truly, that album, 35 Years and a Night in Chicago. If you haven't heard it, folks, head over to Spotify or Amazon or whatever and pick it up. That drum sound, when you hear you Kiss This Creature of the Night for the first time and you go, wow, listen to that drum sound. I got the same I got the same feeling with this album. I went, wow, holy Christ.
There you go.
Keege's killing it.
Anyway. Big old DW kid he's got. Sounds great live too.
Sounds great live.
Sound checks. The drums are always huge. We're lucky to have a big sound and two lead vocals, 2 lead guitar players. It could get messy. A lot going on, but everybody knows where their parts are to make this band happen. And nobody's overplaying and nobody's stepping on anybody else's toes. And we stick tight and solid to the arrangements and branch off on a couple things here and there. But I got to tell you, Mitch, it's great, man. I'm loving where the band's at right now.
Yep, I am too. And your solo album, do we have an estimation when it might come out? I know we have to find a label and stuff, but conceivably it could come out before Christmas?
Yeah, I just want to have it done. I want to be satisfied with it by the end of the next week. And if it's not, I'm going to have to go do a couple Night Ranger shows, come back and work on it a little more. I just want to write. But then I'll go shop my deal. And if I get that done within a month after that, then, maybe have something out in October, November. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? And it depends on how fast they can get it together to release. But I just wanted to get it out there and get it off my plate and know that I finished. I just want to finish.
Listen, the songs I've heard are certainly in a state of finish. I know you want to mix down a couple more things, but they sound great as they are, and I can't wait for the final product and to hold the CD in my hand, just like, there you go. And I'm holding Neverland in my hand. I'm holding Night Ranger's Neverland in my hand. There you go. That's a old school.
Well, don't tell anybody.
That's a great record. What's the songs on here? Slap Like Being Born, and what's the other Slap Like Being Born's great, and what's the other good one here? Neverland. Always, as always, I remember. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Neverland, but it's a great album. So go pick that up too. Go pick that up too, folks. And Brad, as we say in Montreal, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And let's work on getting you up here to Montreal or maybe Ontario or something for a show. It's I can't keep traveling all the time. You got to travel to me.
Yeah. I think we might be booked up there. I'll find out if we're in your neighborhood.
Yes, let me know. I would love to come out, and always happy to support. And folks, really, the album that Brad is preparing for you, if you're a fan of hard rock, if you're a fan of Night Ranger, if you're a fan of anybody from that scene, your Bon Jovis, your Def Leppards, your Cinderellas, whoever, you're going to love this record because it's ear candy. It is really good ear candy, and you'll love it.
Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate it, my brother.
Avec plaisir, my pleasure, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Okay, you got it. All right, Mitch, take care.
Good.
You're listening to Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Rock Talk.